Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of The Mistake Zone, your weekly dose of our lives and the mistakes within them. My name is Jaron Wade. Joining me, as always, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba. Hey, Matt.
Yo.
How are you doing?
Yo, I'm doing good.
Matt, that's great. We're here another week, also joined by one of my other best friends in the whole wide world, Rakush. Hey, Rakush.
Jaron?
How are you doing?
Guys, I'm good, but I do have a question for you guys.
What's up?
I just ate my dinner, and it was pretty spicy in general.
Okay.
Brown guy, have to eat spicy food. But, I eat a lot of spicy food, and I find that, I have a runny nose after every single time I eat spicy food. Does it ever, blow your guys' mind how much just, mucus your nose is creating, I guess?
No.
In general, or when I'm eating spicy food?
What spicy food?
Matt, I don't know about you, but I don't think I get the sniffles when I'm eating spicy food.
Really?
I'm more of a sweater, which is a bit disgusting, but I feel like my runny nose is more... I think that's allergy season. That's my dog shedding a bit too much and it's getting in my nose, or the air conditioning is blowing at me at an awkward angle, where I think earlier this week I had a lot of sneezing, a lot of runny noses, but not when I partake in the fine delicacy of spicy food. But Matt, how are you feeling with the spicy food?
I mean, I get hit with the triple of runny nose, the cough, and the sweats.
Oh damn!
The cough, the cough is kind of gross.
Hit by all three
because the cough is so phlegmy.
I feel like mine. I don't have too phlegmy of a cough when I eat dry food. It's more like a regular cough, I think.
Yeah. Just something in there trying to knock loose. Yeah. I think on the rare occasion where I don't think I've coughed in a while with spicy food, but when I remember, it is more so a dry cough, just because you probably have some sort of spice stuck in there that you're trying to dislodge. But yeah, I think with me, especially when I do eat spicy food in public, in the company of peers, in the company of friends, I think it's the sweat aspect for me personally. But then that's amplified by the fact of I'm self-aware that I'm sweating, which in turn makes me sweat even more. And I also kind of attribute that sweat, that kind of heat sensation, to the fact that I feel like I'm just eating the food when it's above a certain heat level in terms of temperature, where I feel like I can be eating something spicy, but if I let that sit where it's cooled down to just above room temperature at the very least, I think it's a lot more manageable to me. But chances are when I get a bowl of, spicy soup, I'm kind of trying to down that. First, I'll take a sip and end up burning my tongue, which immediately ruins the meal for me. But then I'll keep going at it while it's still at that a bit, you see the steam rising from it, temperature, which amplifies how my mouth reacts to it. But Rakush, how many tissues did you go through this time around?
Bro, I had to, I actually forgot to take out a new box of tissues as well. So I had to get up mid-meal, go pick up a new box from my closet. It was it's not an ordeal, but it was an ordeal. You guys know what I'm saying.
Are you saying you're above wiping it on your sleeve, Rakush?
I'm wearing a decent shirt, so I don't want to. But
fair.
Listen, fair question. It's just the shirt I'm wearing today is not the one I want to wipe my nose on.
Actually.
Fair. What's up, Matt?
Okay, Rakush, you were eating this in your house? Or in your place? Yeah. Do you guys wear long sleeves in your homes?
Yes.
Depends on the weather. But also, if I'm cooking, typically no. Because, especially if I'm cooking chicken, so I'm a little bit paranoid. So, I'm washing my hands a little too often. And I don't want to get any, raw chicken on, a full sleeve shirt.
Okay.
I do wear a hoodie, though, just so, there's not a lot of splash on my shirts.
Yeah, I don't think I ever wear long sleeves in my like house unless I am about to go out or I'm wearing like a snuggie or something like that.
I don't know. You guys know me. I run really cold. Where I think I've always found myself in situations, whether it be with my partner or with my family, who like to run, especially during the summer. Air conditioning pretty cold. So, and as we've established here in the mistake zone, I just need that air conditioning to hit at me the wrong angle and I'm sick. So
yeah,
I find myself wearing a lot of long sleeves, especially during the summer, especially at home. And plus it just feels good, for me personally. But I think to balance it out, I'm also a shorts and long sleeves guy, as my casual at home pajama wear. So, but okay, now that we're in the topic, when it comes to covers during the summer season in particular, what's your cover situation like, friends?
Like the bedding?
Yeah, bedding covers.
Ooh. So I don't change the duvet out. I just have the air conditioning set to like 21 and a half, 22. Depends on how I'm feeling on that day. And I also have a fan aimed directly at my head at night. Helps with white noise, but also just generally, I don't know. I've just grown up with the fan aimed at my face for my entire life. So the duvet helps out a lot with the rest of the body.
How about you, Matt?
I mean, I don't really use a blanket or anything like, when it is summer. I kind of weirdly do this thing where I only put it over like one leg.
I get it. I actually know what you're talking about.
Cause like, okay, here's my thing. My bed is against the wall, and this wall for some reason just gets like super cold in the summer, and I use it almost like cold containment. Like I put my leg against the wall, and then I put my blanket around my leg and the wall so that it, insulates the cold. So, I have that going. And then I have a fan going pointed at like the rest of my body.
That's a top-down fan, right?
No, I have like a, what's it called? A standing fan in my bedroom as well. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like
that's fair.
Yeah, I feel like the one leg in, one leg out thing is very common for me as well, because like especially during like the colder seasons when it's a little bit tougher to regulate my temperature. And, like, if I don't have the duvet on my feet, I might get super cold. So, like, one in, one out feels like this nice balance at all times. So, yeah.
I don't know. In the winter, I sleep with the windows open. That's amazing.
I could not. I could not.
Yeah, you're mad.
I don't know. I love sleeping in a cold room bundled under, like, warmth. And then only my face
Mad
is cold.
elbow over here.
I don't know. Something about that is, like, very soothing.
That's fair, man. So that's our cozy segment of the episode for sure. But before we kind of get into it, boys, so we all know there's going to be what appears to be a new live action Street Fighter movie.
Wait, what? I did not know this.
Yes. It's got a ton of wrestlers.
We've talked about this before.
Have we?
But I guess this is something we can go, but just a few hours ago, there was a teaser of Cody Rhodes, professional wrestler for the WWE. There was a teaser of Cody Rhodes as Guile on the set of the new Street Fighter movie. So, Matt, as someone who just relearned, let's just say, about the new live-action Street Fighter movie, and Rikush, as someone who is familiar with Cody Rhodes as well, what do you boys think about the Cody Rhodes as Guile teaser? Again, not showing fully what he'll look like in the movie, but I feel like the shadow that is being cast by his silhouette kind of speaks volumes about what we may or may not expect. So, Rikush, you first. One, what do you think of the casting of professional wrestler Cody Rhodes as Guile, and what are you feeling about seeing his silhouette being teased?
So, first, I don't think he's jacked enough to be Guile, but that might just be because of how stout Guile looks in the games itself. So, and, VFX will do enough there. The teaser is fantastic, because the teaser is just literally like a shadow silhouette of him with the flat top haircut. But also, very subtle part of this looks like he's got a cigarette or a cigar in hand.
Yeah, from what yep, that does look like it looks like yeah, that's definitely a cigar, possibly a cigarette, but
Yeah,
it looks
because it's like too long to be a middle finger. Unless he's just got freakish fingers. I don't know.
Don't think so.
Mm-hmm. It could only be his
But-
pinky out if it's like. I'm looking at the picture as well. I feel like that could only be pinky out if it is a finger,
Fair.
which
Fair,
doesn't
yeah.
make sense.
It's still real long, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Matt, how are you feeling looking at this teaser?
I wish the hair was bigger.
Right.
So think about it. It's like it's not extreme enough for me to Okay, have they said anything at all about this movie? In terms of is it going to be serious or is it going to be campy?
Can I read out the crew list? And Matt, I think with one of these, you'll know exactly where this movie is going.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Okay. So Jason Momoa is Blanca.
Okay.
David Dastmalchian is M. Bison. He's a familiar face. I cannot remember what movies he's been in.
Mm-hmm.
According to this, he's been in The Suicide Squad,
Yes.
Dune, Ant-Man, The Dark Knight, and The Flash. And
There you
now
go.
One Piece, apparently.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, okay. Noah Centineo is playing Ken. Andrew Koji is playing Ryu. That's actually a decent casting. Roman Reigns is playing Akuma. Cody Rhodes is Guile.
This is a much bigger cast than I was expecting.
It's pretty cool. And then Orville Peck is Vega. That's a really good casting choice.
That's actually a really good casting.
Hiroki Goto, New Japan Pro Wrestler athlete, is playing E Honda. Have thoughts on that one, but still, they did a decent
Is
job
that
there.
one hundo confirmed? Because
100%
I'll be
confirmed.
honest, Rikush. I've been seeing a lot of. Has there anything been like formally announced, like from the production company? Because I think everything from all these websites I'm looking at, a lot of the casting seems incomplete. So I'm not sure what has. Everything you've said so far has been what I've been reading as well, but there are a few here that some are missing from some of the lists I'm seeing as well. So that's all. Plus,
So,
as we all know, IMDb could be not the best way to reference this as well.
totally fair. For what it's worth, there's a Deadline article that does confirm that Hiroki Goto is E Honda.
Okay, good to know.
The last one.
Yeah, I was looking at Rolling Stone as well,
Yes.
which doesn't have them, but he might be a recent one as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to be filming in a couple of weeks from what I remember. But, like, a lot of word around, like, going around is, like, he lost the belt because he's going to be away for a bit. But the last one, the most important one, 50 Cent as Balrog.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the one.
Okay,
Did that
then
tell you
yes.
everything you need to know?
I do expect Giles. I do want Giles' hair to be bigger. Then it has to be way bigger. Not
Fair.
big enough for this movie, I think.
They got to give 50 Cent the game accurate hair, is my only complaint here. If they don't give him the game accurate hair, movie drops from like a 10 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10.
Oh man.
Also, Kalina Lang as Chun-Li as well has been announced.
Yes.
But just from the current cast, we're looking at the original World Warriors as well. So, Matt, now that you're more familiar with the current casting, what more importantly, Matt, now that you might know what the tone is, what tone do you want this to be when you go see this in 4DX in 2026?
I want the tone to be that at the end, 50 Cent's gonna spin off. No. I want a trailer at the start of this movie that's for the live action version of 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. If that, gives you an idea of what tone I want here.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I would love to see a movie on Blood at the Sand.
Was that game good, or did we just like? Because I feel like I only have watched people play that game, and I don't know if I don't remember actually playing it myself.
I feel like Blood in the Sand is a solid B game that is amplified by its meme status at
yes.
this point.
Okay.
Where if you didn't have 50 Cent attached or the rest of the G Unit crew, I think it would be a largely a 6 out of 10 game that no one would mention where it's still serviceable, but it's the fact that this pretty decent game is technically a licensed game attached to 50 Cent and the G Unit crew that kind of pushes it over the finish line into, I think, fun nostalgia territory.
Okay.
Good branding, basically, yeah.
Yes, but Rakush, now that we know this is a pretty wrestler adjacent casting, have to ask, who's the next wrestler that will be and which character will they be in the post-credit scene?
Ooh. Kenny Omega is Alex.
Oh, that would actually be really good.
I feel like, because Kenny did like that live action commercials recently for like the latest season of DLC characters, but I feel like Alex is so heavily an influence on Kenny's aesthetics. He's also
That's
a terrible actor, so I don't know if that would actually happen or not, but yeah.
Also fair, where I'm really curious just to see how this turns out. Realistically, will this be a good movie?
I will enjoy it.
It'll be an enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think like a video game movie, its biggest mistake is if it doesn't focus on the things that made the video game fun. In this case, like, it's not doing what Mortal Kombat did a couple of years ago, where it tried to shoehorn a brand new character in. So I think in that sense, it's already starting off well. It's going for, like, just the tackiest actors you can find for a movie like this as well, which is, again, perfect. So, like, they're doing everything right.
I mean, I really appreciate that the new Mortal Kombat trailer doesn't seem to focus on their, like, original character.
Oh, yeah, Channing Tatum, that dude. Channing Tatum from G.I. Joe famously got written off in the second one because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson ended up in the second movie.
Well.
Oh, man. But yeah, Street Fighter, not sure if there's going to be a tagline. I'm really excited for the trailer coming out. But I think realistically, my hope is, and I'm not sure if they'll actually go down this route. I hope they do kind of go into the more campy elements of what this really can't be presented as, because I'll admit it, Street Fighter lore in itself, it's pretty generic, not really the greatest. Everyone's here for the fisticuffs, everyone's here for your Evo moments, where if this is only a fraction of dialogue and everything is beautiful fight choreography, I think that would be the best. But I don't have high hopes that this will be that, and I think that this, as enjoyable as it may be, I'm not sure this will be that good of a movie. But that, how bad do you think the Hadouken CG will be?
Oh, I'm not expecting a lot, man. Okay, do you guys think the hands will be in the Hadouken ball, or do you think they're gonna do a Hadouken like ball, or do you think they're gonna do a Hadouken beam?
It's got to be a Hadouken beam.
Guys, are beams in martial arts adjacent movies ever good?
Ooh.
I can't.
I feel like they'll do a
much.
decent job. I think if they're already going with the flat top hair for Guile, I think they'll do a decent job. I think it's a good starting point already.
Oh, okay. You know what?
Like,
actually,
let's see.
Sorry. Do you think there's gonna be a Hadouken in this movie?
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
okay.
Matt brings up a good point. If they're going for camp, you have to have your Hadoukens, you have to have your sonic booms.
Yeah.
Chun-Li has to have, a spinning bird kick.
Oh.
And, her, rapid kicks as well. But if this is a more... Honestly, if Guile didn't have that flat top, and you were to tell me this was a more grounded fight movie that is, really focused on beautiful fight choreo, then no way I would say that there would be any special effects to that degree. But I feel like the flat top on Guile seals the deal for what this movie will be to me, at least.
Also, you have Blanca and Dawson in this movie. Like, you have to have like some sort of like, just suspension of disbelief that is the same as with the video games. Like, you cannot do them as gritty, realistic characters. You just kind of got to go all out with them.
Do you think Blanca's gonna be green?
Has to be.
I feel like he won't
Has
be
to be
green.
100%. Ooh. Okay. This might be like a friendly
Wait.
wager we got happening here.
Oh, that's gonna be tough because at that point, for Blanca to be green, you have to like really. Yeah, that's what I'm curious. How CG heavy will the Street Fighter movie be? Because if you want a green Blanca, I feel like he has to be pure CG at that point, like a Hulk situation over here.
I would more believe in Green Blanca if it wasn't Jason Momoa playing him.
It also depends on when in the story they're going with this, and if they're going with like the Street Fighter movie canon, which is Charlie Nash turning into Blanca. I don't think they're gonna do that, but like I am curious how close it's gonna be to the Raul Julia '94 Street Fighter movie. And honestly, here's the secret. Here's a secret to a movie like this. You gotta go in with no hopes, no expectations, and you'll have the time of your life with it. Like, if you expect anything out of this movie, is when you're gonna be disappointed.
I mean, one of my core high school memories was watching the Dead or Alive movie in Julian's living room, and that seemed like a pretty good time.
That's the one with Kevin Nash in it, right?
I believe so, but
what a wild casting decision that.
Two more thoughts before we move on. First thought, how likely are we gonna have, for me, it was a Tuesday reference in this movie?
Ooh, I hope they put one in.
The crowd would erupt.
Do you think it's going to be a direct quote, or is it just going to be on a calendar somewhere, like that specifically says Tuesday?
If it's a direct quote, the crowd's going to erupt.
All right, fair.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Rakush, what movie will have better stretchy arm visuals, Fantastic Four or Street Fighter the movie?
I'm going to go with the wild card. I'm going to go with Air Bud.
Right, of course.
They're going to make him do, like, the MJ from Space Jam dunk, and, like, his paws are going to go through. Like, yeah, listen, it's an obvious answer.
Fair. That's on me for bringing such a silly question to our film corner of the Mistake Zone.
It's amazing that, I could just tell through, like, the little bit of your tone that gets through on Discord that you're so frustrated with this Air Bud gimmick.
I think that's just how Jaren talks to you in general, but that might just be.
I picked up the nuances. I feel like this one genuinely has him just like frustrated.
I mean, all roads lead to us seeing Air Bud, whatever the subtitle is, in 4DX. Boys, I think any movie that we talk about at length here on the Mistake Zone has to be watched in 4DX. Not sponsored, by the way.
What if like Air Bud and Street Fighter come out on the same weekend? Which one are you guys watching first?
I mean, this is a Barbie Oppenheimer situation where that's a back-to-back.
Bud Fighter?
But in the case, it's probably... I feel like you start with Air Bud just to get you in the movie watching mood, and then you end off in Street Fighter.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think I agree with that too.
But Street Fighter in theaters 2026, Air Bud I think in theaters 2026. I don't actually know. Rakush, as the Air Bud expert, when's this movie coming out?
They said 2026. In fact, there was an update to our conversation from last time. Apparently, they are looking for real dogs.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd have been very surprised if it was like CG dogs.
Maybe it's like for modeling. I don't know.
I mean, how else is that dog going to stretch his paw?
Practical effects,
do the final shot.
Listen, just let John Carpenter direct the movie. He'll figure it out.
Fair enough. But boys, now that Rakush has opened the Air Bud floodgates, and we're now on the animal adjacent sporting events. Matt, we gotta talk about our girls, Umamusume. Are you still playing this game, Matt?
Jaren, I am still. I am not playing it as heavily as before. There are definitely days where I just phone in and Oguri cap run to get my dailies, but
the best.
There are days when I am going to do all the TP that I can manage for that day. Because Jaren, Champion Meet's coming up.
I do not know what this means.
Gotta get ready for that. For the Champions Meet being the first major PvP event in Umamusume, where you're
As someone who doesn't have the strongest Uma roster, what can we expect of this, and how much should I have a tummy ache over it?
So first off, Champions Meet is a kind of format that's going to be repeated in Umamusume, where they are setting up a very specific race. They are telling you what track it is, what the weather conditions are going to be, what the how the floor firmness is going to be, what season it's going to be, which direction you're running in. And like I said, like the track, that's going to tell you how far you're running and the location of the event. And you are going to be putting in a team of 3 Umamusume to run against other people's teams of the Umamusume. And this is literally as long as you take first with one of your Umamusume, you get the win. The format is, you're just going to be doing kind of like free-for-all round robin-ish, I guess, type things. For your first group, if you have, I think it's more than 3 wins, you advance to winner's bracket. If you have less than 3 wins, you go to loser's bracket. You do your stuff there, and then you get depending on how you do there, you get put into the finals bracket, or your run ends there. And
Fair.
The event itself is divided into kind of 2 leagues. The graded league, which allows you to use any Umamusume that you have, or the open league, which is limited to B Umas or lower.
That's actually really interesting to put a restriction like that.
And I like the way that it is, generally, I guess, viewed is that the open league is for beginners, and then the graded league is for everybody else. But it turns out that in the Japanese version of Umamusume, that kind of flipped itself. Where the open league is where you should the graded league, where you can put any kind of Umamusume, is where you should go by default. And the open league ended up becoming for sweats, where they're min-maxing to get just 1 point below B+, so that they can still enter.
I hate it here.
The B open league. And that scared me out of going to open league. And also, I don't have any good B rank Umas.
As someone who, I have hella B rank Umas, but I don't trust any of them. So maybe I will head over to the graded league, where that kind of reminds me of, just off the heels of Street Fighter. When you are a beginner, a lot of people actually recommend that you go into ranked fights just to kind of get your kind of footing with the game, just because you're more likely to be grouped with more players of your skill level once your league solidifies itself, as opposed to just going into an open match, because you can honestly be put. The theory is it's going to be a more casual experience, but chances are you might be put into a game with some killers. And the fact that chances are, if you're in a group room with a killer and they just want to farm you for whatever currency that is, it's on you to leave, where, of course, with the rank, you only have, at most 2 games. But I think that's interesting, seeing the same kind of mindset applied to Uma PvP here as well. But Matt, this is starting in a few days. It's probably going to be started once this episode is posted as well.
Yes.
How do you think your PvP adventures will go for this season?
I am hoping to get at least 3 wins out of my team. I definitely don't think I can win in the kind of final round, but I'm hoping I make it to the final round and can get the participation awards for being in the final round. That's about where I'm aiming.
That's all we can ask for, Matt. That's all we can ask for. But, yep, Umamusume PvP coming soon. Final question to you, Matt. What? I have some premium currency burning a hole in my pocket. What are we rolling for next, friend?
In Umamusume?
Yep.
I am debating on rolling for Saiyan Sky when she drops in, I think, early September. If I don't end up going there, probably gonna do Summer Maruzensky in, I think, October. I'm not sure like when in October though.
Looking forward to it, Matt. Looking forward to it.
I could also always, drop some rolls on Super Creek
For the support or like the actual runner?
support. Oh wait, no, the Super Creek banner's already done. Never mind, I'm done.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking of trying to max her out, but we'll see. Maybe next time, Matt. Maybe next time.
maybe.
Of course, Matt, when we look at the Gacha Hell, it's normally you and me here in this Gacha-apocalyptic wasteland. But Rakush,
Jared.
I've heard you've been playing something this week as well.
Guys, you inspired me. All this gacha talk, all this talk about horse girls and Umamusume and all that.
Oh my god. I forgot to log into ZZZ. I'm so pissed.
Nah, Cranktail. I didn't actually get Umamusume. No.
It's okay. Rakush, well, Matt crashes out over his lack of Zen Zone Zero progress, which I too have been neglecting. Rakush, what have you been playing?
So I went and reinstalled One Piece Treasure Cruise, which is, for me, the OG gacha game. Like the one I was playing way back in the day. It's currently going through its 11th anniversary.
Damn, that's
11 years. Yeah, it's crazy, right? To be honest, that was part of the fascination. Like, I wanted to go back and see how this game has survived as long as it has, because I saw the recent One Piece Day live stream, and they were still advertising like new characters being added to this game, or at least like new cards being added to this game, which was kind of fascinating. And it's interesting. This game is not a lot of what I remember anymore, and it also doesn't feel like they really care about the progression as much at this point in the life cycle of the game. So a couple of things I've said there. I guess I'll go in order. When I was playing this game, it was, I want to say, like 2 years after its release in North America. So 2016, 2017, I would say all the way up until like 2018, 2019. So I played it for a long time. And this is still when things were coming out. I want to say like a year after they were coming out in Japan. I don't know if that's still the case. I only reinstalled it like a day and a half ago, 2 days ago. So I don't know what that schedule is looking like. But a lot of the things that took me almost like a year in game to kind of get to took me all of 5 hours to get to over the weekend, because they have essentially added like a bunch of different things to allow players to catch up a lot faster to where the current game is, to where the current meta is, things like that. Which is totally fair. I think like that is how you extend the lifespan of these things. But it certainly hit me in a way that was kind of like making me question how much time I put into this game back in the day, because I was like, oh damn man, like 5 hours versus like almost a year sort of thing, And so like some of that stuff was really fascinating.
Actually, Rakush, before you move on, are you still using your original account, or did you have to create a new one?
I had to create a new one because the original account I had, I couldn't find the link code for it anymore. I was on one of my old phones that died on me. So yeah, it's fine. Like, I think it's probably for the better that I started from scratch, because if I had started off midway through, I don't think I would have read up on like a lot of like the new game modes and the mechanics and things like that in a way that would have given me like a better understanding. I think sometimes having that clean start is helpful. But yeah, it's like kind of just like going through some of these like early quests, and then also like unlocking a different Mihawk, but unlocking a Mihawk with the same like captain ability being like your team buff. That took me a very long time to get when I was originally playing it. And it was a pretty strong buff as well. And so when I started the game and I got this character, I was like, okay, great, like I'm in a good place here. That captain ability is maybe middle of the pack now. Like, it's actually not that great anymore, which is, again, the natural progression of like we were talking about this with Pokemon a few months ago, right? Like the game is going to escalate to a point where these older cards aren't actually relevant anymore. It's not part of the meta anymore. It's also kind of like what I complain about with League of Legends and Master Yi, right? Like just the game has to grow. But definitely was a moment where I'm like, everything I knew about this game is irrelevant at this point, and so it's kind of starting from scratch. But then also, like the second part about the progression and like them not actually caring about the progression, that might be a little harsh, but like what I mean by that is you start off with unlimited rerolls to get minimum one Sugo rare character. Sugo rare being the rarest cards, like card rarity for One Piece Treasure Cruise. Again, 9 years ago, these cards would pop up in like a poll once every 3 months, once every 4 months. And right now, it's like, yeah, you can literally start and keep re-rolling until you get like a high-end Sugo rare card. But then you can also get like an extra one because it's 10 plus 1 pull. The 1 is a Sugo rare. The 10 can be 4 stars to 5 stars. Sugo rares being 6 stars. But you could also get a 6-star Sugo rare card in those 10 as well. So like you can just keep re-rolling until you feel you have the optimal sort of like starting crew. The crew cost is no longer relevant from what I've seen. Like you can put a bunch of high level characters into your crew right off the bat instead of having to level up to a point where you have to wait for that. None of that matters. Like you just do that and you move on. Your account level, they've added basically free missions, 4 of them, that will take you from level 1 to level 120 or 125 within 4 missions that are within like 24 hours. Like you'll get access to them. The only thing that's remaining to be unlocked for me is at level 150. So like I've literally only been playing this game over the weekend. We're recording on a Monday right now. And like I'm already way beyond where I was when I previously left this game. And so it's kind of crazy in that sense for me. I don't know if like that's a normal thing that you guys might have experienced with other gacha games, but it's definitely been an interesting experience getting back into it.
Yeah, I think, as you said, this game is going into its 11th year, and with any live service game, the goal is to not only maintain your current player base, but how do you not only appeal to just newcomers, but also have a specific on-ramp to get them in a place that's comfortable to participate in your ecosystem. Just because realistically, even if a player might not want to do the PvP aspect or the pseudo PvP aspect, just because, of course, they're so behind, you have, in theory, 11 years of story content, 11 years of event content that you would hope that those players would kind of interact with as well and get to experience. But I think that's something we're seeing with Nikkei these days, just because with every kind of major update, we're seeing them lower the combat level of your units that you need for story missions, just so more people are able to get to the later story chapters more consistently, and having more ways to break, specific arbitrary barriers that were essentially a time gate, or which would kind of have you maybe spend a bit more to speed up. And I can only imagine what that looks like after 11 years. And in your perspective, Rakush, to go back to that, just to see everything that you would work hard towards a decade ago instantly be given to you just because you have to do that
right,
in an attempt to maintain that player base.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I think like there's another really unique sort of issue that I personally have with this game, and it's only because it's One Piece. I don't know how much I've talked about One Piece on this show. It's one of my favorite animes of all time. So like I absolutely love this series. I love the characters. I love all the characters for the most part. There are certain characters that are just in story way beyond the rest, like in terms of just like excellence and levels and things like that. Like the power scaling is absolutely a thing with this game, but then some of these characters are straight up legends, like Goldie Roger's right hand man. His name is Silver Israeli. absolute legend. Like the first, I still remember reading the manga the first time he was introduced and being like, "Oh, holy shit, this is like a big player that we're getting introduced to." There is just a standard event quest going on right now, and it seems like an ongoing event quest where you can unlock a Rayleigh card, but it's a 4-star card. Um, Again, going through kind of like the ranking system, like 4 is, I would say, medium. 5 is like your higher end of medium. 6 is like your super rare cards. And so just that character being like a 4-star card, for example, and that's not the only Rayleigh card, which is another issue in and of itself. But yeah, just like stuff like that also really kind of like stands out to me as like they have to churn out so much content for this game over and over again because 11 years and going, right? Like they have to churn so much stuff out that at some point the mystique of a lot of these characters is just kind of gone. And that kind of sucks for a franchise like One Piece per se, where like literally over 25, 26 years of this manga existing, like there are certain characters that when you see them for the first time are like, wow, I've literally waited half my life to see this character. And to see like 6 different cards available for that character in this game, just, that's the kind of stuff that like really just bothers me. But that's also capitalism, I guess. Like, make as much money on this as possible. Put out as many cards as you can to make people spend money on them. So, like, I get it. But also still, yeah, kind of a bummer.
I think at the end of the day, that's what happens with a lot of these licensed mobile games, specifically within the gacha realm, where realistically, no one actually... Yeah, to a degree, no one actually cares about the source material. It's like you said, it's to build on FOMO. This is less about a lore accurate representation of these characters and more so, hey, let's make a TGC hero collector and have you roll for all your favorite characters, for all the pretty art. And I guess now that we're in its 11th year, just power creep everything as well, which is also something I think about when a mobile game has run for such a long time. How much, like you said, there's this high level, but at that point, was it always like that? Were the 5-star units the top of the tier, and then they introduced the 6th, and then you'll have to eventually introduce a 7th just for you to keep churning characters as well, which also is disheartening when you think about it. Not even touching the lore specifications, just because, yeah, as you said, Rikuj, you waited half your life to see this character, but at the same time, in the gacha world, maybe people are waiting half a year to roll the elite version of it, and its common counterpart is just fodder sitting in your hero collection closet to look at every now and then.
Yeah, which is kind of what like these characters being used for here as well. Like you get the 5-star, you feed the 4-star to it, and then you power it up. It just kind of sucks.
Sounds like it's not your One Piece, Rakush.
One Piece is large now. Like it is honestly quite global in a way that I don't think people truly grasp. Like if you just take a look at the sales numbers, if you just take a look at like how lucrative it is as a franchise, like I genuinely don't think like people truly understand like how insane it is.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say people don't grasp how to truly love One Piece.
Honestly, I love it however you want. Like one of my best friends, she started watching One Piece because of the live action. Do I personally love the live action? It's good. It's not great, but a lot of it is because so many side characters and so many story arcs that have episodes with a little bit more nuance are kind of skipped or like glossed over to get to a certain point at the end of the season. And so I have certain things I wish I saw, but I don't hate anything about the live action series. But that series has now made a big fan out of one of my best friends who before the live action would have never watched One Piece. And so like, would that be how I would have gotten her into the franchise? Probably not, but it got her to the franchise. And so I am fully of the mindset, like, get to the things you love however you get to them. Like, I think it is perfectly fine to love One Piece the way you want to. Um,
Rakush, are you
I still
saying
think there's still 10,000 different ways, but what's up?
are you saying whatever floats your boat?
God damn it.
Oh, this guy.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, Sharon.
Boys, I was at a card convention this weekend, and I was looking at some cards that I wanted to buy, and this vendor had a bunch of One Piece cards also for sale. And I thought, I'm not a fan of One Piece. I do like the One Piece art that they use on their card. A lot of pretty cards. A lot of pretty cards.
It's pretty good. Very similar to what's in the game, by the way.
Yes. That doesn't surprise me, just because with a lot of assets that get ported to digital media, there's a lot of overlap. But I did see a secret rare alt art parallel for, I'm not sure if this character, Rakush, what's a snake?
S-Snake?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay, so they've recently introduced cloned characters of former warlords. Warlords
Okay.
being the pirates that are under the government's salary, basically. Like, they're actually, like, working with the government, and they get freedom to kind of to roam around the seas without having, like, navy interference or things like that. The whole strategy there is, like, kind of control the violence in the seas and shit. Except it turns out that they basically took, like, DNA from them and they cloned different characters. S-Snake is a clone of Boa Hancock, from what I remember.
I can see the resemblance. That's cool. But
That is, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna look up S-Snake just to make sure it's the right one, but I'm pretty sure it is.
But anyway, I see this vendor selling this card, $12. I thought, hey, I'm going to try to buy this other $12 Pokemon card and maybe combo them for $20. But the gentleman beside me, technically in front of me, asked, hey, can I buy all your One Piece cards? And
Damn.
What the?
had to let the S-Nick go. But these seemed like an actual player, and I'm just a person who likes pretty card art. So as long as they're getting use out of it, you know, I can't take away from a player, friends. Can't take away from a player. But
Ethical card collecting.
I also went to that One Piece Miniso collab at the mall.
Oh,
And
yeah.
boys?
Okay, let's talk about that. I went too.
Boys, really disappointed. As a fake One Piece fan, scratch that. As a fan of characters that look like Boa and Robin, really disappointed with the lack of Boa and Robin merch available. Where I looked around, said, nope, no Boa figures, no Robin figures or acrylic stands. Let's leave. And the person organizing the line said, hey, you got to use the actual exit to exit. And there was a line to the exit. So
What?
too many lines at this place. But Rakush, how's your One Piece Miniso collaboration experience inside a giant fake ship in the middle of a mall food court?
A mall that I worked in for 10 years as well, so kind of crazy to see that. Never thought I'd see that in that mall ever. It was decent. I went there on the second or third day that the pop-up was going on. Wait was, I would say, 20-25 minutes max. They still had a pretty healthy amount of merch. I don't think they had a lot of Boa Hancock stuff in the first place. So shit out of luck there, sorry. I think they had some Nico Robin stuff, but not a lot. I think it was alright. Like, they didn't have anything that, outside of, like, they had some cushions, which were, like, the wanted posters for the characters. I thought those were cool. I picked up the Chopper one, because didn't want one with Nami or Robin on it, because that would just be creepy. And not comfortable enough in my masculinity to get one of Zoro. And so, yeah. Ended up going with Chopper as the safe one. But I thought there was some decent stuff there from for the price that they were charging as well. Like, the keychains were kind of cool. They had some figures if you wanted those. They had a lot of the blind boxes. I feel like the blind boxes was the big thing they were trying to sell. The X-ray ones.
They're right in your face when you get in there.
It's super in your face. Also, like, the big Luffy statue, the Gear 5 one that's outside, is also the X-ray one. That was a cool statue, but
$200,
those.
230 or something. Yeah,
Oh no, that's the
for the giant
figure
one.
still.
Right. Oh, right.
So the statue is just like the display that's outside of the pop up. But yes, like they had a larger figure for $250, really pricey. Um, but it seemed like that and the cushions were like the big things that they were pushing. Everything else was like your standard notebooks and keychains and some figures and stuff like that, which is decent. Nothing I haven't seen before, so yeah. I think it's like
Okay.
worth it for the
Yeah.
novelty of it if it's only like a 20-minute wait. If it's anything more than that, like, ooh, I don't know.
Oh man, but yeah, really surprised. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect a big One Piece ship to be at our. I don't want to say. I feel like local mall really diminishes it, when in reality it's probably one of the biggest malls in Canada. Uh,
I think we
but
can
to
say it's
see,
Square One because anybody can look it up, to
yeah,
be fair. So, like, it's Square One.
yeah, never in my wildest imagination did I expect to see it. But Matt, I know you kind of asked about the line when I said I went. Did you end up checking it out as well, or
No, I didn't know it was there. To be honest.
fair,
Mhm.
fair?
I mean, you would have to leave your house for that. That's,
I mean, on that day that I asked Jared about the line, it was because I had to go to Square One, but I didn't even like pass the food court, so I didn't know that was happening.
basic.
Fair, fair. But yeah, Rakush, final question: are you gonna keep playing the One Piece mobile game, or did this, pique your curiosity enough, and you'll probably uninstall it within the week?
I think I'm gonna give it a week and a half more. So another, again, like super easy way of just catching you up in this game. They are giving out basically like a free Sugo card every day. It's a 10+1 pull, so you could in theory get more than one a day. And it's free, no gems costing for it. There's another Sugo event going on right now that like I can basically pull whenever I want. Right now I have something like I'm gonna have 300 gems as of tomorrow, basically. So like I can pull 10 of those. So I might still keep it going for a bit just to kind of see how quickly I catch up. But I do think the moment things slow down is the moment I'm probably gonna be off it. I don't know if I'll fully uninstall it, but I'm definitely gonna be off it for a bit.
Hmm.
Fair,
I mean, Rakush,
fair.
if that doesn't pan out for you, I ended up looking up some tier lists while you were talking earlier, and as long as you're below master rank, Master Yi is considered S plus tier.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Fuck. Am I reinstalling League?
Oh man, we got him. We got him.
Damn.
I might need to look this up.
Damn.
I don't believe you.
Oh yeah. Go look it up. He's below master rank. Master Yi is a S plus tier jungler.
Oh no, I don't want to jungle as Master Yi. No, fuck that.
Oh well.
I want to ADC as Master Yi.
Oh, I don't even
With Jaren
think
as my
Master
support.
Yi was a good ADC when Master Yi was like when we were playing League of Legends.
That's a skill issue because I was pretty good as ADC Master Yi. Ask Jaren,
I'm
Mr.
not saying you weren't good
you know,
at Master Yi. I'm
that's it,
saying
it's-
he wasn't considered a good ADC back then, even.
skill issue.
Oh man.
Oh man, indeed. But boys, speaking about pseudo gambling, Matt, stop me if you've heard this before, but I've played a demo this week.
Ooh, okay.
Where, boys, my game of the year last year was Balatro. And I feel like of course, we'd be seeing an influx of quote unquote Balatro lights since its release. And despite me playing like a few and mentioning it here on the pod, whether it be Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers or OMG Words, which, as a side note, the influx of Scrabble Balatro lights, really up there, and I'm really surprised at how many of those specifically are being released. But from all the different ones that I've played, I don't think I've really found one to really capture what made Balatro feel so special to me, whether it be just its core gameplay loop or even its aesthetic. And the latest one that I've played was Dice A Million, and I feel like this is the one that has come pretty close to not only matching the aesthetic we've seen in Balatro, but a solid enough gameplay loop where even though this is just a demo, kind of embarrassed to admit, but really approaching 3 hours trying to make it past the second floor of what this game is. But as the name kind of implies, Dice A Million is Balatro, really selling itself short here, but it is Dice Balatro, where what you're trying to do is you have a score threshold of the number you have to roll, and you have a number of rolls to try to meet that threshold, where you're rolling your dice and hoping you get it, and whatever point denomination you end a game with, that's your currency to spend on the shop afterwards. And of course, you're trying to clear all these different rounds. Ultimately, you get to the end of a floor where there's a boss with a specific mechanic that you have to overcome. And then you're on to the next floor. You're on to the next phase. And what makes this a Balatro Light is the fact that when you start off, you might be rolling, say, 5d6s. But then all of a sudden, hey, I'm unlocking d20s. I'm unlocking D8s, D10s. Hey, I have a peanut, and wait, this peanut, I cracked open the peanut during my run. Now I have a D666, which if I roll 666, my dice will explode. And I think it's the thing I'm most excited about this is what I was most excited with something like Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers, where it's what different dice they're going to give you that will help you reach those point thresholds. Because as you progress to all the different floors, those get progressively high. And of course, in order to help meet those thresholds, the Joker mechanic here is in the form of rings, where you have different rings that you can unlock or buy and then put on your fingers. And you can, of course, hold up to 10 different rings. And those are essentially your modifiers. Those give you specific passive abilities. You also have different stamps, which are kind of like the planet cards in Balatro, which will add different bonuses to the numbers you roll 1 to +6. And then you also have your active cards, which are one-time uses that you can also, which are pretty powerful, but once you use it, they're gone for until you can either buy or unlock them again. But yeah, it's the fact that once you get a good dice loadout that gives you all the crazy number multipliers and the screen turns into Vampire Survivors number vomit, I feel like that's where this game really shines. Again, the aesthetic does have that more psychedelic, trippy look, plus a more lo-fi soundtrack to accompany it, which is also pretty good presentation-wise as well. And then it also does some unique things like, hey, before the boss fight, you have to spend all your money because you're just going to lose it afterwards. And if you're able to notably beat the boss room, you'll get access to a special shop, which you have to spend all the money there or else you'll lose it as well. So there are different ways that try to make its experience its own. But if I had one complaint so far, I think the difficulty is notably up there, where in that 3 hours of playtime, I think I've only had 2 or 3 good runs that really helped me push forward, where if you're not getting enchanted dice, if you're not getting enchanted rings really right off the rip, I think a run will die quicker than expected. But maybe that's just me not understanding kind of the different mechanics, something that I had to eventually learn into for Balatro as well. But yeah, demo for Dice A Million right now, probably one of the more stronger Balatro lights that I've played so far. I think it's available sometime this year as a full release, but demo available now. But yeah, check it out if you're looking for something to scratch that Balatro itch while we're waiting for that major Balatro update this year as well, which I think is still scheduled for this year. But that's what I've been playing. Matt, have you checked out anything this week?
I have been checking out Abyssus.
Hmm.
This is a game that I've mentioned on here before when it was out during as a demo during a Steam Next Fest, but earlier this week, Abyssus got its full release, and I've been enjoying it. It is, like I said last time, a first-person roguelike shooter that has a nautical theme to it.
Okay.
And it plays that theme pretty well, pretty interestingly. And now that we have the full release, it has added, I think, one more ability that wasn't available before, and I think 4 more guns that weren't available before. The kind of gun list being the engine rifle, which is basically just a minigun, a Tesla gun, which is a kind of just like a beam weapon that can shoot out balls that auto hit anything in their vicinity. There is a kind of standard revolver, a standard shotgun. New weapon-wise, there is a disc thrower, kind of like from was it Unreal Tournament that had disc throwers, where it's like a
I think so.
it's like a
That
disc
sounds familiar.
that bounces around, like just using, I guess, like in-world physics. A bow, a kind of it's called like a plasma launcher, which is basically kind of like an energy grenade launcher. And then there's a gun called the Fish Deity, which is basically a fish that vomits kind of like grenades, and it can stab things with its it's a swordfish, so it like stabs things with its nose, and it kind of does the, what do you call it? I can't remember the brand of gun from Borderlands that does it, but when you reload it, you throw it and it explodes. That's what.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Is that the Theodore one? I think so. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I know it was the height. No, not. Haven't played Borderlands in a while to actually remember the gun manufacturers, but yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Same.
Good mechanic, or not good gimmick, I should say.
Good gimmick. And then the abilities, the ones that were ready in the demo were the grenade, the turret, this cube that's basically just a one-shot laser beam that does like a critical hit every time it hits a target, and then an anchor, which is kind of a very big AoE wave. And the new ability they added is something called the brine field, which is basically just a kind of like item that you can put down that creates a circle on the floor that raises your defense or damage reduction, and any enemies that are in it are kind of, what do you call it, hurt and slowed by the field. And I really like how this game is going, especially now that I have Dead Zone Rogue beside it, because I feel like they're trying to do kind of two different things. Where Dead Zone Rogue is far more of I think a gun game. I think the shooting and everything in Dead Zone Rogue is much better. Whereas in Abyssus, this is a game that's revolving around, I guess, your weapon gimmicks, or weapon gimmicks and like your ability gimmicks, because all the weapons kind of do that thing where it's like, oh, you have like 3 options for the way it shoots, where, like, for example, the bow, you can have like, just your standard arrow, you can have an arrow that pierces, or you can have an arrow that explodes, and then every weapon has a secondary ability where you have 3 abilities as well. And again, for the bow, it's like, a multi-shot, like a seeking arrow, and there was something else that I can't remember what it is right now, but it's that sort of thing where you're able to play with the abilities or like your special effects a lot more. And I don't know, I kind of really, really like that. It really gives a good distinction between the two roguelikes, especially since they came out basically like within 1 week of each other.
Right.
And I don't know, it like feels very good. I think Abyssus also kind of divides itself a lot better between playing a game that is more about precision or playing a game that's more about spam. And I think, I definitely fall into the enjoying a more spammy play style. Cause,
Same.
don't want to aim. I don't have time to do precision or the skill to do precision. Rakush, where do you land on that? I actually don't know how you play FPSs.
I don't play a lot of FPSs. Like, I kind of like the just shoot 'em ups like Doom more than I like strategic FPSs.
Okay. I mean, okay. I guess even in like Doom, do you prefer like doing the kind of precision style, or do you prefer like weapons that kind of just you can spray and pray?
I prefer spray and pray.
Okay. I'm glad we're all in agreement.
I think it also depends. I'll say like it depends on the map. I see. In a game like Doom, sometimes if you're trying to keep distance from someone, sure, but if you're skilled enough, you can typically get away with spray and pray.
But yeah, like I kind of like how this game kind of divides its stuff up. I think one thing that is very interesting to me in this is that the things that I mentioned as abilities, the grenade, the turret, the like anchor, the shield, and the cube are, all kind of basically, well, they're called abilities that I guess like you would more so consider them just like kind of extras in a lot of other first-person shooters. But I really like that in this game, you were able to upgrade these in a way that they can replace your main weapon. And I don't know, I kind of like really like that where, for example, your brine field can, while it is like, defending you, you can essentially at some point turn it into a dot that just freezes enemies when they're in it, and they basically can't do anything. Like I really like that you can have basically what you would consider, I guess, extra side pieces in other games to be your main weapon in this game. Especially since I also actually really like that it follows the kind of Hades style difficulty system, where you can, it's not just like every single time that you want to raise a difficulty, it's not just doing a static status increase every single difficulty tier. It does things like, we're going to give enemies certain modifiers, like, they'll explode on death, or, they'll move faster, or they'll have like armor now. And how do you guys feel about things that instead of, making the enemy stronger, it makes you weaker?
Or like debuffs?
Yeah, like debuffs on you in terms of like a difficulty system. Like, would you rather have an enemy get stronger, or would you rather like have stuff taken away from you?
I think for me personally, as someone who likes where that power fantasy aspect isn't, a deal breaker if it's there or not in the game, but if you are established in a way, I kind of feel bad if I get a debuff or if I get something taken away from me, especially if it's a aspect that is a core component of my, gameplay loop or my move rotation, where I don't know, having something get taken away from you just feels bad to me. And I'm not particularly a fan of the design, where it's, again, not a deal breaker per se, but it's one that makes me feel a bit disappointed when I think about it.
I see. Rakush, where do you land on that?
I think it depends on what the game is trying to do with you. Like, if they are locking, say, like a certain weapon to train you to use another weapon, with the idea that when you play, like, outside of an arena, for example, it'll allow you to better understand all the weapons in the game. I think those kind of limitations are actually pretty cool, because that's actually training you, and it's like showing you how to play a game. But if it's just kind of like there's a difficulty spike where you can only use a pistol for the entire game, just as an example, that's a little bit of fear, I would say. Like that, I think it just kind of depends on like what the payoff is at the end, but less a fan of those.
I see. Okay. Because like this game kind of does, in terms of debuffing you, it does stuff like there's a shrine that you can go to in game that will just like show up, and when you hit it, it gives you back all your syringes, which are basically your on-demand heals, and it restores your health. Like one of the debuffs is, it'll give you back less syringes instead of putting you to full syringes. There's stuff here where you now have a time limit for some levels, and one that I don't know where I stand on this, where every time that you're hit, you lose 1 max HP. That one probably isn't really that bad, but for some reason that one seems really bad to me. But
yeah, I don't know. That seems kind of excessive. I'm not, as someone who plays in the Zone Zero, not a fan of, hey, every time you attack, you lose health.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like that one. That one don't suck. But I think that Abyssus is a very competent roguelike. I think my biggest complaint about Abyssus as a whole is that I feel like its run is very short, which is weird because its run is basically like maybe 30 to 40 minutes long per run, which isn't a short amount of time, but I feel like for some reason it feels short to me, and I know that is the normal amount of time that a roguelike run would usually take, but something about the way Abyssus does it makes it feel, I don't know, lacking for some reason.
No, that makes sense, but I don't know. I feel like as someone who is struggling to finish a Umamusume run sometimes, I feel like that might be a good sweet spot for me these days when it comes to a roguelite.
Yeah, I think that's basically what I think about Abyssus. Like I think it's a very, very good roguelike FPS, and if steaming is your style, if it's if you look at the previews and it looks appealing, I definitely think you should check it out.
Actually, one more question for you, Matt. Since you're juggling this, or at least playing this parallel to Dead Zone Rogue, do you find it hard to jump between the two, or do you need a proper rest period? Just because, as someone who was playing Tony Hawk and Stellar Blade, even though they're not the same genre, the fact that Tony Hawk is so much faster. If I went back to back and jumped right into Stellar Blade, I feel like Eve's movements feels just so clunky and slow. Where for something so similar, practically the same genre at this point, do you find difficulty jumping in between the two just because of the precision versus the more spray and pray, or do you think you're a pro gamer enough to adapt to it?
I don't think I'm programmer enough to adapt to it, but I think that these two games, their very kind of base controls are almost exactly the same. That it is easy to go back and forth. Like I think the most major difference between the two is that Abyssus doesn't have ADS.
Right. Oh, okay. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Not. Where do you fall in the camp? Do you like a good ADS, or are you a good hip shooter?
Jared, I hip fire all the time. I don't have time to aim properly. That's for people who are good at video games.
Fair enough, Matt Alba. So, actually, both games available now, Abyssus and Dead Zone Rogue, correct?
Both are available now.
So, Matt, we're here at the point of the show where we're choosing our next Mistake Zone segment, just like any good roguelite. And I feel like this week I'm choosing Don't Match Me, prepared by our boy Rakush. So Rakush, please lay down some challenges in your challenge room in the Mistake Zone roguelite.
Yeah, Don't Match Me. It is the game that we play every single week, where one person asks a series of 5 questions, and the other participants, whoever's on the episode, tries to not match the answer. If you're playing along, you just have to try to not match me, but if you want the hard mode, you try not to match all 3 of us. This week, it's Jared, Matt, and myself. Guys, I'll be honest. I didn't have a Don't Match Me until I joined the Discord call for this recording. And then I remembered I went grocery shopping. I can probably come up with something quickly, just like a grocery list. And I remembered I bought some tomatoes. And so, guys, this week's Don't Match Me, tomatoes.
Ooh, okay.
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 This is like a very specific don't match me topic.
So I started cooking, like doing a little bit something different with meal prep in the last couple of weeks, where I kind of stumbled into this idea when I made like some homemade tomato soup where I roasted a bunch of tomatoes, onions, and a little bit of bell pepper together, made it into a soup. Tasted great. But then I realized like that in and of itself is a base, a mother sauce. It's what you typically start with a lot of like different gravies and cooking in Indian cuisine at least, and a lot of European cuisine as well. But that's a mother sauce. And so I was like, all right, let me just do this at bulk so that I don't have to go through like one, waste management. So I'm not wasting any food from the fridge or less food from the fridge, but also just like cuts out 15-20 minutes of prep time so I can focus on either going a little bit more complex with other parts of a dish or just I'm tired and I want to cut some time out. So that's kind of why it's very specific to tomatoes. I was thinking about that. But I mentioned mother sauces, guys. I think that's the first question. Let's go with that one. I'm going to ask you guys to name a type of mother sauce. And for this one specifically, let's go with the European mother sauces.
Ooh, this is a very narrow one to start with.
And there's quite a few different mother sauces.
There's like, maybe I'm just thinking of French.
So French does have 5. And then there's variations of that too, if you want to go that way. But yeah. I was going to save this for a later question, but since I mentioned mother sauces, let's start with the hard one. All right. So name a mother sauce in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go with the hollandaise.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Hollandaise is a good one. Very delicious.
You know what, Rakush? It's so good that I also picked it.
Oh, there we go. Game over already. Dang. Jared, what'd you pick?
I went with the one so again, I just typed it into Google and I went with the first one that I recognized, but I wasn't sure I could pronounce. I went with the, what is it, bechamel?
Bechamel?
Yeah, I went with the bechamel sauce.
Yes.
But
It's
I do
the
love
white
me a
sauce.
hollandaise sauce.
Yeah, so the bechamel is the white sauce that's like a roux made with butter and flour and a little bit of milk. There's a lobster bechamel, right? Like that's a dish. I don't eat lobster, so I don't fully know.
Let's say sure.
I mean, I would assume so. I think you can put any meat with any of these sauces, and it's usually going to be, that's why there's the other sauces, right?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yes,
fair.
but you know how French cuisine is. It's like you got to go with the specific meat with the specific sauce and all of that jazz. So, yeah. I should have probably started with this next question first because I said this week's Don't Match Me is tomatoes. But hey, whatever. Guys, name a type of tomato. In 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go with heirloom tomatoes.
Ooh, good tomato. Good tomato.
Yeah. Love the shape. Love the colors on them. Very much reminds me of fall, even though I don't think it's a fall thing. But yeah.
Heirloom tomatoes weird me out.
What about them weirds you out?
I mean, I don't like how heirloom tomatoes look. They look like, if you told me that we needed a prop for like an alien fruit or something, I feel like you would start with an heirloom tomato and then like kind of like
Fair.
weird it up from there.
Yeah,
Totally fair.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. But man, when you cut into one of those like dark red green tomatoes, oh dude. Phenomenal. Matt, what do you got?
I went with what we have growing outside the house. I went with cherry tomatoes.
Ooh, you have cherry tomatoes growing. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
You got all the ingredients to make a base sauce all the time.
I don't know if you would want to use cherry tomatoes to make a base sauce. That's a lot of cherry tomatoes that you'll be using.
I personally like using a variation of tomatoes. So like cherry tomatoes to me at least add like a certain sweetness to like the sauce that like a lot of the other tomatoes sometimes might taste a little bit tinny. Like
Yeah.
So yeah. Jaron, what's the tomato you got?
I didn't match with you, Rakush, but I did match with our boy Matt because I too
damn.
went with my personal favorite tomato, the cherry tomato.
Ooh.
I honestly, cherry tomato was second on my list, so this could have been a knockout question right off, like question number 2 out of 5. That would have been the first time I think it's happened with the three of us.
I love me a good cherry tomato. For a time,
Yeah.
that was back when I tried a faux keto diet for a while. My lunches consisted of a handful of cherry tomatoes and some slices of sweet potato. And
How is that
was,
faux keto? That
let's
sounds
say-
like wrong keto.
in my sick and twisted brain, Matt, that's what I thought lunches should be. And let's just say I crashed hard when it was time to stop because I love me
Yeah.
some carbs.
Oh man.
Because I ate
yeah,
a
I
lot
don't-
of bread this weekend.
bread's great.
Oh man. I bought garlic spread, so I've just been eating bread, garlic bread for a week.
Matt, I have a lot of bread if you need.
Oh man. Okay.
Have you guys ever made like garlic confit at home by any chance? It's the one where you basically like put in the oven in like a boatload of olive oil.
Yes, I've thought about doing that, but I've never actually done it myself because that seems like a lot of garlic that I may not, use up.
I feel like once you put it in the oven though, like it's cooked, so less a concern of it going bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess also in oil, so it's like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
especially olive oil, because like that will last you a minute.
No, I have
But
it.
guys,
Mhm.
olive oil, regular oil used in a lot of Italian dishes. I want you guys to name an Italian dish.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say this right off the bat. I'm that person that says pizza is not Italian food, so that does not count.
When you say an Italian dish, are you limiting it to like mains or
Anything except for pizza.
okay? Are you considering pastas or different types of pastas of different Italian dishes?
If it's a dish,
Okay.
Yep.
all right. In 3, 2, 1. Guys, I'm Brown, and I eat spicy food. We talked about this at the start of the episode. I gotta go with one of the spiciest pasta dishes out there, spaghetti all'assassina, which is literally one of my favorite things to make, but also the messiest thing to make, because you boil up, or like let it simmer up, the tomato sauce let it simmer up, and then instead of boiling the pasta, you're actually cooking the pasta on like a pan and just dousing it with the tomato sauce as you go. And so what's happening is the water evaporates and it caramelizes the dish, and then you add like chili flakes in there. And so you're getting like the super spicy and cooked pasta that has a texture unlike honestly any other pasta that you will ever get. So spaghetti all'assassina, my answer. Matt, what do you got?
Good answer.
Okay. I I went with what I thought of first, and this is why I kind of asked if you consider it a main, or if it had to be a
Okay.
main. Because the first thing that
Okay.
I thought of was an affogato. Because I should really play that game at some point.
Isn't that a drink?
I mean, I always thought it was like a dessert.
Yeah, it to me personally, it just really depends how it's made. I've had my fair share from places, not in Italy, unfortunately, but maybe the boutique cafes I've been to. Some have been more on the bowl of ice cream side. Some have been more on the drink side. So I think I'm not sure what the right way is, but I've had some variations of it.
I was thinking it's a dessert more than a drink because when I have it, I I eat it with a spoon, which I
Okay,
think is
so-
illegal, but I don't know.
Is milkshake a dish? Because that to me is kind of the territory that affogato is hovering in.
Okay, I mean, if you don't consider it a dish, I'll take the loss. I'll take the loss.
What other dishes you got? There's like 1,000 different Italian dishes.
I mean, I was kind of just couldn't think of a specific one. That's why I kind of went with affogato, because I'm like, oh, lasagna. And I feel like that's
You just thought
that's
of
like
it
saying
right
fried
there.
rice. Huh?
But you had lasagna.
Yeah, but that's why I was also asking, like, how
Uh.
specific do you want to be with pasta? Because you went with the specific pasta as yours.
I think like if you just say spaghetti, then like
That's the same
okay,
as just
maybe like
saying
spaghetti
lasagna.
meatballs would be the answer.
Uh-huh.
You could say anyways. Jared, what do you got?
I went with chicken parm.
Yeah, Parmesan. Yeah, like
Mhm.
veal Parmesan or chicken Parmesan. Like that's absolutely an Italian dish.
Mm-hmm.
Meatballs.
Would you have considered, like,
I would have accepted
arancini?
that answer.
Would you have considered, like, arancini? I don't know how to say it. The like, kind of like the rice ball. Mm.
Yeah, arancinis, rice balls. Yes. Yeah, that's a dish. Matt, I'll give you lasagna for this one. Let's
Mhm.
go with that.
Okay.
We're friends here.
Mhm.
2 more questions to go. We're talking a lot about pasta. Just name a type of pasta. This is also why I didn't want to get into specifics.
Ah, I see.
In 3, 2, 1. I'm actually gonna go with macaroni.
Mmm.
Guys, mac and cheese is on sale at the Canadian Tire right now. Would you guys buy mac and cheese from a Canadian Tire? Because that feels a little not the right place to buy things to be.
Is it Canadian Tire branded
I mean-
mac and cheese? I feel like somehow that's worse than like any other kind
yeah,
of mac
that would
and
be
cheese.
like far worse. It's just KD.
Oh, I buy KD from a Canadian Tire.
It feels wrong buying food from a Canadian Tire unless it's a hot dog from the hot stock stand outside. But yeah,
Mm.
Matt, what do you got?
I think we've had this convo before. I that's similar to would you buy food off Amazon, where it's all being stored in a
Depend-
warehouse. So
If
If
it's
you-
like wet food, it would be weird.
Like canned wet food? Like you wouldn't buy like tuna from Amazon? I think
I
you
don't
don't eat
think
tuna, so I feel like that's also a bad question.
I mean, it's a fair example. I don't think I would buy that off Amazon.
Hmm.
Matt, have you bought tuna off Amazon?
I don't think I've ever bought tuna off Amazon. I think I bought like spams off Amazon because I wanted a variety pack.
Fair. I've purchased tuna off Amazon, and I'm here to tell you that I've purchased tuna from Amazon. So
He's
take
alive.
that for what you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jordan, what do you got?
Mhm.
Oh no, Matt, what do you got? Sorry.
I guess kind of going off your answer, Rakush, I went with the adult version of mac and cheese, fettuccine.
Ah, with Alfredo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really good dish. One of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. I also wasn't sure if that was actually an Italian dish or not.
If you said it, I would have accepted it.
See, I think I heard at some point that fettuccine Alfredo falls into like American Italian food, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
It's not a distinction I'm familiar with, so
Mm.
my ignorance would have been enough to give you the answer.
Mm.
Jern, what do you got for us?
Growing up, I was always under the impression that my answer, angel hair, was pink, but it isn't. That
Mm.
makes me sad.
Wait, angel hair?
Mm-hmm.
You've never heard of angel hair pasta?
It's like thin spaghetti.
Don't think I have. Ah, interesting. It's almost like glass noodly from what I'm
It's a
seeing.
very thin, long pasta,
Mhm.
similar to
Interesting.
vermicelli, but even thinner.
Do you guys prefer thinner
fair
noodles
enough.
over thicker noodles?
Fuck no.
Mm.
I'm a thick pasta boy.
Ugh.
Yeah.
True,
Yeah, just in general, I personally am a fan of thicker noodles. Unless we go for ramen, and then I'm like, what do you guys recommend? If they say thin, I'll go with thin.
Have you guys ever decided to, you just have some leftover pasta sauce and you also have some leftover, or not leftover, some like udon noodles? And you're like, I guess these two are going to go together today.
I have done fettuccine with udon before.
Mm.
Like Alfredo
Wait,
udon.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I thought you just meant fettuccine noodles with udon noodles as a meal.
I realized my mistake there, yeah.
Man. If given the option of Chinese hand-pulled noodles, I want that to be a blanket, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, those are so good. I'm hungry. Maybe we'll finish this up soon. Guys, one question left.
Mm-hmm.
Something that goes well with pasta is cheese. I want you guys to name a type of cheese.
Ooh.
In 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna go with the classic, the old reliable mozzarella.
Ooh.
Good answer. Good answer.
Matt, what do you got?
I mean, I think I'm in a very charcuterie place of mind, so I went with brie.
Also good answer.
That's a good cheese. How much brie can you eat in one sitting?
I don't know. Okay, guys, I've never actually bought brie. Is brie expensive?
I'd say it's like standard expense,
okay.
like standard price.
Because I only,
But like for those kind of cheeses.
I only ever run into brie cheese when only when I haven't bought it. So it's like someone brought it home, or I'm at like a party and they have a charcuterie board and there's brie there.
Fair.
Do you guys ever just make a charcuterie board? Nothing else, like no occasion. You're just sitting at home with your long sleeve shirt and shorts, just gorging on
No.
mortadella.
Honestly, nope.
Nope. No.
Huh,
No.
just me.
No. Yeah. I don't have the time to make a whole board. I just make a salad.
Yeah.
Starting to realize why I'm the one that had to get the colonoscopy. Jared, what cheese you got?
Blue cheese was the first thing to come to mind.
Hearing blue cheese hurts my stomach. I don't like the blue in the cheese. It looks just bad.
Yep.
I don't know if I like blue cheese or not. I feel like that's one of those cheeses that I eat because like it's interesting to me, but I don't know if I enjoy it.
See, I would rather go for
I feel
feta
like-
cheese at that point.
If it's blue cheese, it has to be processed into some sort of dipping sauce or a sauce adjacent. I remember buying a bunch of just blue cheese slices from Costco to put on burgers, and that was
that's
not a good
insane.
time.
Ooh,
That is a lot
that's
of blue
gross.
cheese.
Yep.
Also, like, how crumbly was that? Or was it crumbly at all? Because that's even weirder if it's not.
It did break apart when I was like taking it off the little separation wrappers a bit, so you can still put it on a burger, but not super brittle. It was still processed a bit, I'm guessing, but not to the point where it's a creamy sauce that I can mix with chicken wings.
Well, guys, that's this week's Don't Match Me.
Oh man,
Hey.
Rikush, how hungry are you right now? Even though you've
Honestly,
just had dinner.
I just ate dinner, but hearing all this talk of different types of pasta, I might need to stop thinking about food right now. I already had an upset stomach over the weekend.
Fair. But you can debate if you're gonna eat and tell us next week if you end up doing so, because boys, that has been our episode of the Mistake Zone this week. As always, I want to thank one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba, for joining me this week and, of course, editing this podcast.
Yo, thanks, man. As always, I want to thank you for hosting this podcast and bringing the Street Fighter movie to my attention.
No probs, Bob. And, of course, I want to thank our best friend in the whole wide world, Rick Koosh, for joining us this week and also bringing us the Don't Match Me challenge.
What do you guys think is the best tomato to throw at someone?
An old tomato.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to waste food.
Matt, good answer. Good answer. I want to thank Peanuts. I want to thank D666s. I want to thank Giles Hair. I want to thank Noodles. And I want to thank Guile. Wait, no, I already thanked his hair. I want to thank Jury. Because of course I will. Matt.
I thought you said you wanted to thank Jaren for a second, and I'm like, ooh, third person. Interesting.
That guy.
I always want to thank myself. Thanks, me. And Matt, thank you for taking it away.
Yo, this has been the Mistake Zone, and we're all out of lines for the exit.